folks, this is the Carolina Geranium, like I promised you. I just harvested it today with a friend of mine, and I think we did quite well. You can see this is a huge bowl compared to the sink. Huge basket, actually. This is what I'm going to be drying it in. I washed it until I could find no more debris in the water. So I'm going to let this dry. Should be enough at least for a jar or two. And this is best boiled if you want to eat it as edible, raw, cooked, or as a tea. And the roots are can be boiled for 10 minutes to soften. It's kind of bitter, not too bad. And it also has some medicinal uses as well. Leaves are astringent. They have a strong bitter flavor because they have a high tannin level. These are young, so the tannin levels are not that high right now. And you just change the water once when you cook them. Also, the medicinal uses is actually an astringent. The root is usually used for medicinal purposes. Now, the roots or leaves can be used to stop bleeding. It dries out the tissue, like I was talking about. It's a styptic. So you just clean the root or leaves, and you want to harvest the root. I have a root to show you. This is what it looks like in the spring. It looks like this. I will show you again what it looks like in the fall. But this is the root. I only took one. I'm going to save the rest of them. We have plenty out here to harvest. So what you do is you can use the leaves and use it as a poultice, or make a tea and use that and to actually dry up the tissue and stop the bleeding. Now, it's also good for diarrhea and stomach upset. You can make the tea from the root, which is more ideal, and that it's just, the root is always stronger, especially depending on what time of the year you harvest it. Canker sores, you can wash it with the tea or cover it with a root poultice. And because of the astringent value of the root, or characteristic of the root, it is very drying. It reduces the canker sores pretty fast. So it also helps with sore throat, and it does have a, well, it may have an antiviral property as well, because it has been shown to have anti-hepatitis B compounds in it. When you harvest it, you want to harvest the leaves young and use them fresh or dry for future use. And then you want to wait till fall to dig up the roots if you can. You can use it in the spring. Just the root, again, is only this big, okay, in the spring. You can make a tea, a tincture, or a poultice with it. So, or eat it. If you like bitters, of course, bitters are good naturally for upset stomach. So, these are the palmate leaves. They have stems on them. This is up close what they look like. And they usually have flowers. I think they're pink or lavender. And they're also known as crane's bill because the fruit looks like a crane's beak. And they're just, I just cut the leaves. I don't use a stem. If there's a way to use a stem, or for any reason, I don't know of it. So just make sure you wash it and then dry them on something like this, a large flat basket. And we're getting good weather for the next few days, so it should dry pretty quickly. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and follow, get notifications if you can. If you're interested in more foraging wild edibles and what the uses could be for. I am not an expert, so if you're not 100% sure on identification, even after I showed you this, and also in my other video I showed you the whole plant, and so if you're not 100% sure, please don't do it. You have to be 100% sure. You have to use common sense, because if you eat something poisonous, it only takes once for a fatality to happen. So it's just better to know what you're doing 100%. Make sure there's zero error. It's not, I'm not trying to make it sound difficult. It's not. It is kind of scary when you first start to forage. But I came from mostly, I learned a lot from generational knowledge, and then also from self-learned, self-taught things by watching other people and learning, similar to what an apprentice would do if they were learning something from an expert. But I am no expert. I have no degree. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a herbalist. So just when you do this, you're doing it at your own risk. And I would definitely, if you're teaching kids to forage, I would tell them, I would give them the safety guidelines first, and let them know exactly why safety is first. Okay? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.